Time to spin one from the trickster's own web. And Anansi the spider always delivers that with 8 legs of mischief and a grin sharper than the gods deserve. Tonight's scroll is one the ancestors used to whisper when the moon went missing. The story of how Anansi once tried to steal silence itself. Scroll of the spider who stole silence, the true and slightly terrifying tale of Anansi's loudest mistake. When the gods got tired of talking long before humans built cities, before Wi-Fi and gossip, Wi-Fi was noisy. The rivers argued with the wind, the stars hummed too loudly, and even the trees wouldn't stop reciting poetry. The gods begged for peace. So Nyami, the Sky Father, declared, "Whoever brings me silence shall be given its power." Now, you know what happens when someone says whoever, that some fool always volunteers. And that fool was, of course, Anansi. Anansi loved deals. He could sell thunder to a storm cloud and still ask for rain change. So he spun a web high up into the sky and whispered, open quote, "Oh, mighty Nyame, let me fetch you silence." Close quote. Nyame smiled, the way gods do when they know chaos is about to get entertaining. He handed Anansi a golden jar and said, "Catch it if you can, but do not open it." Anansi nodded, already planning how to cheat. First, Anansi went to the frogs. "You croak too much," he scolded. The frogs blinked, unimpressed, so he scooped them into his jar, still loud. Then he went to the crickets, who sang under the moon. He shushed them into the jar, still louder. Then the wind laughed, and Anansi shouted, "You too!" and chased the wind in circles until the jar glowed. Finally, the world went eerily still. For the first time ever, total silence. Anansi trembled. He'd done it. But he'd also realized something chilling. When the world stopped speaking, he couldn't hear himself think. And for a spider who lived off his own cleverness, that was worse than death. He began to panic. What's the point of being the smartest creature if no one can hear it? So he did the one thing Nyami told him not to do. He opened the jar. The silence exploded like thunder in reverse. It swept across the world, devouring voices, echo, laughter, everything. Anansi ran through forests that made no sound, past waterfalls that poured in mute ribbons, and realized he'd unleashed something that didn't care about gods or fools. To fix it, Anansi had to trick silence itself. He spun a web shaped like sound, an invisible harp of wind. When the empty air brushed against it, the web began to hum. The hum turned into a word. The word turned into laughter. And the laughter brought back the world. But not all of it. That's why, if you listen deep at night, you'll hear gaps between the sounds. Those are the pieces of silence Anansi never caught. V. Moral, sort of. Nyame appeared again and said, "You brought silence and then broke it. What should I do with you?" Anansi grinned, brushing his web. "Make me the keeper of stories, so the world never forgets how much it hates silence." Nyame sighed. "Fine, but if you ever try to steal peace again, I'll make you mortal." Anansi smiled. "You already did." Anansi reminds us that even the tricksters have limits, and that silence, like truth, can't be owned, only shared carefully. When you feel the world too loud, step back. When it's too quiet, check if Anansi's up to something again.
Universal Currency Receipt Architect Musician 3611027, The Graceful Whisperer, our C-Star, Devalan C. All,